Hello, lovely YouTube friends. It's Isabel Blue Sapphire here. I hope you're all doing well. I have come on as I've just had the knock at the door and a new little package appear. And I'm quite excited by this one because it was a bit of a surprise that it was already here. So I have taken it out of the envelope and I've taken it out of its plastic wrapper. This is the Antiquities of Magick Oracle. Now I know that quite a lot of you have seen this deck. I know that this deck has already existed in the community for a while. It is by Gillian C. Wilde, but this is a second edition printing of the deck in a new smaller box with a smaller guidebook. So in terms of kind of the cards or the contents, nothing's changed from the previous version, but I didn't have that version. So just a little bit of a story on this one. I have been following Deanne at Blue Crescent Tarot recently and watched quite a lot of her videos, particularly watching some of her videos around the Wild Unknown archetypes, which currently are sat in the house wrapped up in a package ready for someone to give me for Christmas. And this deck, she's talked a lot about her love of the Gillian C. Wilde decks, and I had been following the creator as well online, and I don't know why I ended up following them, but I was. And so I got a notification that she was doing this edition and that it was on offer. So I started looking at it, but I just wasn't sure. And the only way I was going to get it was from Amazon in America. I'm in the UK, so I was like, it's going to cost a fortune in postage. It could got at customs, blah, 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 blah. And I kept putting myself off because I was thinking, I've spent a lot on decks lately. I've bought so many this year. I'm not having much time to work with them. I think I've said this in every video. Isn't this ridiculous? Nothing seems to change around here. November's been even worse than usual. I actually tried to record a November video the other day and I did 2 different videos and I haven't posted them because I didn't think they were any good. So I gave up. But anyway, that's beside the point. So I kind of put myself off. And then it came in. We have the Black Friday sale version here in the UK. It came up with a reduction and I stopped myself from getting it. And then Deanne showed it on her channel, the new version, and we had a laugh because she's now got 2 sets of the same cards. I'd go and look at her video to understand that. But anyway, and I just kept, I think I just kept coming back to it. And it's one of those decks that I've kept coming back to so many times. And it came up with I think it was a 25% reduction. So I looked and thought, right, you know what? I haven't forgotten about this. This has been going around and round in my head the last couple of weeks. I'm going to get it. So, yeah. So a waffly story, but I ordered it. I ordered it literally like 29th of November. Amazon in America because it's not available in the UK, and it has just arrived. So 6th of December from the America through Amazon, no extra charges. I'm absolutely made up, and that's the second time I've got something through from America like that through Amazon, which is really cool. I normally like to support creators directly. However, what I have noticed is that this actually, having sort of just opened it, I think this has got a little note in anyway. So this is the Antiquities of Magick. It's got here One Tree Planted, independently created, woman-owned, Gillian C. Wilde, and her website. Sorry, this is deciding not to focus this afternoon even. Do you know what? Sometimes I just can't cope with these cameras. It's obviously something about the light today, apologies. So it's got like a wolf, it's got a lantern, the flowers, the little gecko there. Now, basically, there's 54 small cards. This box is gorgeous. It's a 2-piece box. It's a lovely size. I really liked the idea of this because this deck, if you don't know it, it basically has a series of symbols in. And you can use it in many different ways as a standard oracle. But one of the things it talks about on the box, it talks about Learn and explore the sacred language of the universe and the tarot. Use this deck to read your oracle, enhance your tarot readings, develop and strengthen your intuition, build your symbolic dictionary, and create set magical intentions. I thought, as a learner, I have been learning, as I said, about 500 videos, 500 times. I'm trying to learn the tarot. And I thought it would be a really good resource to help me explore some of the symbology. You know, there's lots of people who talk about, oh, you can see this in that card and this means this and that, and I'm like, I didn't know that. So I thought it would layer up really nicely. You know, if I had a tarot card, I could kind of pull a card, or I could look at a symbol and look at the matching tarot cards. So I'm hoping it'll be quite a good way to kind of explore my tarot as well as using it as an oracle. So in this lovely two-piece hard box, it's got the same, it's got this, all the answers we seek are mirrored in the divine, written in here. Let's just see. Yeah, it's got a little symbol on the back there. It's beautiful. Oh, it's just, this is my favourite kind of box and deck. Gorgeous kind of, I suppose it's like, yeah, the kind of matte finish. Absolutely love it. I mean, for the money, you think, oh my word, but it's beautiful. So it's come with a little card that says, thank you for supporting independent female creators and business. And I thought that was really sweet because it shows it's just not just another mass market deck, if that makes sense. So yeah, and so you've got, so the big change between this deck and the original is that the cards are the same size, the cards are the same, but the guidebook is smaller. Now my instinct is that for a lot of people this would be too small. I love it. It's like a little mini guidebook. I can read it, but the writing is really quite small. In the original guidebook, I think if I'm right, from seeing it on other people's channels and from looking at reviews before I bought this, it has space to write your own notes in it. Now, to be honest, I would happily write in there. I think the more I use it, this is going to come a little bit unbound because I'm going to have to pull it back a little bit. But I really like the fact it's really pocket. So I've got a few decks where, you know, you've got the cards of one size and then you've got a flipping great big book, and I love some of the stuff in the books. To me, I like to read it, but when you've got a deck, let me see if I can find an example. One of the examples that I have got floating around is my Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. Now these aren't the smallest cards in the world, but you know, let me just zoom out a sec. So just here's an example of what I mean. This is a great big thick heavy guidebook. It's fantastic. It's got loads of stuff in, and I'm going to do a deep dive. But here's the cards. Now these cards are a decent size. They're not small. They're a bit bigger than tarot, but they're not enormous. So I've got these you know, these cards in this book, and for these cards I feel like while I'm still learning, I need the book. It's a flipping monster of a book, this, you know. And I bought a pouch to put these decks in. I actually had one made to match it. Flipping pouch came much bigger than I was expecting, so I thought, oh, that's great, it'll fit the book. Does it fit the book? Does it? Heck, not at all. So even though it looks like it should, it doesn't. So the reason I'm waffling about book sizes and cards is that I really like it when you get something where you've got a little book, and you know, this kind of deck, a bit like sort of my tin decks I've recently got, you know, this I can put in a bag and take with me to use, and it's all contained. I've not got enormous great big guidebooks floating around and stuff. So I actually really like it, but I think for a lot of people they would find that the writing quite small and would prefer the bigger guidebook. I absolutely love it though. I love the colour. I really love the feel of it. It's a really, really nice. And then also it's kind of, it's a little bit bow, but that seems to happen with these two-piece boxes. I've had a few decks like that where they sit on a book and they don't quite sit flat. One thing I do love is that this is paper, not plastic. So it's got this lovely little papery wrap, so rather than plastic. And then the cards, if you haven't seen these, so here's the card back. Oh, sorry, I just knocked the camera. absolutely gorgeous with this really lovely mat. And in fact, you know what's, look, I've just seen, like, isn't that pretty when you fan it out and you get the colour coming down here? If you wanted it to be like reversible, it is reversible. This deck has been set with the healing intention of connecting you with the ancient wisdom of symbols. May it help deepen your communication with self and the universe. All the answers you seek are mirrored in the divine. I'm glad we found each other. I know Gillian's in the process of making a new deck at the moment, a new tarot deck. And then you get each individual symbol. Now, as I say, I'm not intending on I wasn't intending on going through every card now, because I think there's lots of reviews with it on. Look at the water symbol. But so these are poker sized, so you can see that they're nice hand sized. So we've got angel, compassion, so they seem to have armor, boundaries, bench, assess, bird, transformation, no, sorry, information, blindfold, unseen. So like you could take that with the two of swords, couldn't you, and you could kind of layer up any of the cards that have a blindfold. Bull for resistance. I don't know if you can see these, just said I wasn't going to flick through them. They are a really nice feel as well. Some of my favourites, these kind of matte cardstocks. Cloud, revelation, coffin, inevitable. What's really nice as well is that even the ones that are maybe perhaps a little bit more negative to some, that's a feather for faith. I hope you can see these. I can't quite see what I'm looking at. The only thing they've got as well is they've used this beautiful, what looks like Pixie's signature in fish and in the S, and occasionally you kind of go, what does that mean? Filth? Oh no, it's fish. I know that Deanne had made hers into like a little Lenormand as well, which is really cool. But you can see that I just love the way it's been done, and I really like the fact that it's just simple. It's the word, you know what it is, it's a keyword. The keywords are very small, so you can ignore them. You know, you could even do that if you didn't like keywords. But for me, I think it's quite nice actually, you know, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, we all have different favourite lions. Look at that lizard, so cute. It is really interesting because, like, for me to then associate these words with the tarot cards is going to be quite cool, I think. You know, things that I'd never really grasped. You've got like some of the constellations behind some of them, crystals, you know, there's all sorts of stuff going on. You could layer it up with Lenormand as well, you know, in the same way, because some of the keywords will be similar. So yeah, so tree root, that's one of my favourites. Every time I've seen a picture and I've seen that, I've just been like, so cool. So this is the same card set, as I say, as her first edition, but with the smaller guidebook. So the guidebook still has lots of stuff in. As I say, it might need a magnifying glass if you're not careful. But yeah, I don't think... I think it's the same cards, the same information. It talks about why symbols are important, and it talks about working with it. Talks about using it as a dictionary. Yeah, so then you get your symbol, you've got your keywords, but I just, one thing, you see, I love this tarot card reference. So I really like the idea of taking one of these symbols and rather than working with a specific tarot card, actually working with a symbol and going, right, I'm going to explore angels today and look at the cards and look at what they represent in that. So I think it's going to be quite cool when I actually get my head around it. Dedication, there's a couple of spells and relationships at the back. Card a day, a couple of not relationships, I meant card spreads. So that is so exciting. That is really cool. I'm really looking forward to working with that. So there we go. That's the Antiquities of Magick Oracle new small box edition that I've just got in. Unexpectedly arrived today, and I'm really delighted with it. And I thought I'd share it with you because I was so excited. See you all soon in a video, I'm sure. Take care, folks. Bye.